We Say What They Can't Radio.
So that we're segueing into blended families. So we have a blended family, right? I have my son who's from a previous relationship. He has a daughter from his previous relationship. And then we have 2 kids together. And
y'all got a lot of kids.
We got a whole tribe, child.
The Brady Bunch.
Lord have mercy. But that was such a struggle. It is still a struggle for me to this day. And he doesn't like when I say this. I personally never advise blended families. Like if you could meet somebody that don't have kids and you don't have kids, you're probably better off. And he hates when I say that because he's like, I know people that's work. Stop saying that. He always like, stop saying that. I hate when you say that. And I'm like, I can only go by
what you know,
what my experiences, and then people that I know experience, right? And so that blended family shit is really a tough thing to handle because I didn't have. Shut your mouth, Simone. I didn't, again, it was my mother, my father. When they split, it was my father. He remarried many years later, but we were adults and he wasn't even living in the state. But I didn't have to share my father with anybody. And to be quite honest, when he did break, because he always found some girl, and my father was good for moving chicks in. So all of a sudden, I just meet this lady, and the next thing you know, she's living in my house with me or whatever. And we were always like, well, this is not my mother. And oh my God, this one lady, oh my God, her name is LOVEPT. I don't know if you're out there, LOVEPT, I'm sorry. I'm going to just say this now. I am sorry because I think that the shit I put LOVEPT through, that shit came back. Because I was terrible to LOVEPT. But LOVEPT was 3 years older than me or some shit. She was young. And I'm like, Henry Crenshaw, you're old ass. What you doing with this young girl? And I did not respect her because I felt like, you my age. I got a friend older than you. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so I put LOVEPT through hell. Oh, poor LOVEPT. I said terrible things. I was not a nice person. And I think it came back to me. And even with that, I just felt like the whole blended family, being responsible for someone else's kid, loving that kid as your own, but still protecting your kid. That's been a struggle because I just feel like, nobody's going to have, in my mind, Quan is my kid, right? Nobody's going to have his best interest. But that's not really true. You know what I'm saying? In the back of my mind, I know that. But sometimes he'll be like, oh, no, you need to do this. Or you need to charge him rent. Or you need to do that. And my first reaction in my head is always like, well, would you tell Danielle that?
Exactly.
Would you tell your own kid that? You know what I'm saying? Right. Oh, he got to do this. He needs to do that. But would you tell your kid that? You know what I'm saying? And it's a constant struggle with that.
It is.
So I still don't know how to handle. I don't got that shit down pat.
Me neither.
I'm learning the sex thing a little bit now, but that I still don't have down pat, because I see, with our kids together, I still, when he, gets on Ryan or whatever, I'm still like, well, wait, hold on. Because sometimes he may get a little rough, only when Ryan deserves it, but I'm his mother, so I'm like, you just, you went a little too far, and he's like, this is my kid, don't tell me what to do, or don't interrupt what I'm doing or whatever. But like I said, with Quan, it's a little bit different. So now we're at the point where it's like, well, I'm gonna let you do what you do, and then you let me do what I do, and we talk about certain things, and it's like, well, what do you think about this? Right. But I learned that even if he's saying, sometimes he'll vent, right? He'll be like, oh, Danielle's doing this, and that. And me, I'm agreeing with him because I agree. You're 100% right. She needs to do this, that. She's doing the wrong thing or whatever. And he then says, okay, he'll say that. He'll be like, all right, he'll listen. But then later on, if it's Quan, it's like, oh, but you didn't keep that same energy. Because when I said this and this today, I was going to do this, you was okay with that. But now we talking about corn, and now you're not okay with that. So I also had to learn, like, I keep my mouth shut. I don't even get involved with this shit no more. I'm like, you know what? I'm here to listen, and I try to tread lightly on what I say, because, sometimes you can see things differently when it's not your kid. Right. You know? Then if it's your own kid, you have a little more, like, wait. And because that kid is from somebody, like, that's not your kid. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you feel more protective from that kid. Right. So, what do you think about that? I said a lot.
I just think, like you said, it's because, like, I always feel like that's my kid, and I have to make sure that if something ever happens to me, he's good, and it won't, like, even as far as, like, and my mother had to kind of bring me back, even like documents. Like, that's my husband. He should be. But his name wasn't on anything. It was my mother and my son. And my mother got 50 and my son got 50 because he wasn't of age yet. Okay. And people were like, well, why are you not putting cards? I'm like, because when I'm dead, I don't know what's going to happen. If I'm dead, I need to make sure that my kid is good, because, you know, you find when people die, money changes things. Right. Always. And I don't want it be a situation where this man took and bounced, and then my kid is left. I mean, he would never be left high and dry, but that kind of situation, because you just don't never know with people.
Right, but your son is about to be 21, so it's
now,
for him to be on there. So you took everything off?
Well, what happened was, when somebody told me about it at work, I was like, made me feel bad, but then was like, but that's your husband, you should. So, I mean, I changed it because I was like, eventually, like, I ain't changing, blah, 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 blah. You know, this is when he was of age. And I was like, well, they're like, well, why wouldn't you think he wouldn't have your son best time? And I'm like, you're right, because he loves him. You know, he's there for him. Even though that's not his son, he still treats him as his son. He does a lot. I mean, you know, but it's always in the back of my mind, like, I don't know, like, because you just don't never know. Because people, I've seen people change. Like, I went to school with a guy who made this, not made the girl had the baby, but they were so in love, and she had the baby and he was gone. So, and I just was like, what? Like, you just, those things run through my head, and I'm just like, I don't never want my son to feel abandoned. Right. I'm gone, and this person who I thought would be his caregiver, I mean, his father's there, but still, just kind of, I mean, it's changed now, but that whole blended, is still hard. Even like, he'll be like, you gonna let him say that to me? Or, like, what are you doing? You hear what he's saying? And I'm just like, but it's true. What he's saying is true. It may not, the delivery may be different than what I would have, but it's the truth. I can't, and then if I go against him, he gonna be like, I ain't gonna say nothing no more, because that's your kid, whatever you want, and so sometimes it's a little, what do I say something? Do I don't? I mean, he has 2 other children. He has a younger daughter and an older son. And I always just listen. Like, oh, okay. Because that's his daughter. His daughter could do no wrong, which, I mean, that's every father's daughter. Right. And I'll be like, well, maybe if you did this, that, blah, blah, blah. He'd be like, I'm a beater. And I'll be like, No, you're not. But okay, if that's what you go. So I kind of tread lightly, even with, his kids as well, because you're their parent, and I don't know, it's hard. Yeah. It could be very difficult. It could be very difficult.
It's a sticky situation, and you just don't know. You don't always know
how the person's going to react.
Right, right.
Well, so I have an 8-year-old son. That's my son. Like, I pushed him out. And then my husband has 2 children. One is 20, and the other one is 14. And I have 8-year-old. So his children are kind of grown. Which, when we first got back into a relationship, I was like, oh, this is great. They're grown. I don't really have to worry about baby mothers, because that was like the main thing to me. You have little kids, okay, well, you still messing with your baby mom. Like, here it goes, right? So his children are grown, so I figured that it would be much easier building relationships, but I find it kind of difficult because they're like adults, you know, that have like their own opinions and, you know, they be having attitudes sometimes and, which is very different from a child who you can like take to the park and run around and now you're like the greatest person ever. So that is something that we're working on because it's like building a family relationship with a stranger, you know? And the only connection that we have is that, you know, I'm in love with your father and that's my husband now, but that's been your dad for the last 21 years. And now he's claiming all this love for this woman that you really just meeting. You know, I've been in that situation because my father and my mom, they were together 10 years old. They got divorced, right? So I remember, you know, and even now I'm 30-something years old and I meet my father's woman and I'm just like,
there go that LOVEPT again. Sorry, LOVEPT.
What's so crazy
All of it.
is that funny you even say that because
it's like you not my mother, and I don't really gotta know you, and, you know, like it's always the feeling for me as the child, right? Looking at my father and his relationship, and I'm 30-something years old. I feel like she needs to cater and want to build that relationship with me, you know, because I'm the child at 30-something years old, grown ass woman married with children and stepchildren. So, you know, that puts a little, I don't know, a little coloring onto how I deal with his children. You know, they're older, so I feel uncomfortable even saying my children because I don't want to offend them. Like, I don't, you know, I don't know, this lady don't know me.
I got a mother,
You know what I'm saying? So that's difficult, but I'm willing to work for it because it's like, it's my husband and these are the loves of his life. You know? And will always be, whether I'm here or not. So I respect that. Now, when it comes to my little one, again, like I did my whole pregnancy by myself. Like the relationship with his father was over before I even, well, not all the way over because we did. You know, I got pregnant, obviously, you know? But I was alone for my pregnancy, so I don't even know that whole like experience with another person. It's just been me and my belly from the get-go. So I have a certain level of, like a whole nother level of love for my child because it's literally just been me and you. So bringing someone else in and how long have we been together? Like, how long has it been? Like 2 years, 3 years, whatever. It hasn't been as long. You know, the relationship with Mike and I could never compare to the length that, you know, me and my son. So when he comes in at first and he's trying to like discipline, I'm like, dude, like, fall back. Mommy's here because mommy has always been here. You be the fun guy. But what I have noticed since getting into a relationship is that, you know, for me as a single mom, I just knew I had it. Like, it's been me and him. We good. We got a plan. Blah, blah, blah. We do what we got to do. But when I brought a man into the relationship, I saw a complete change in my son. You know, like he wanted to do sports and he wanted to show off and he wanted to do like all those like really guy things that I thought
that you could not do.
But I thought I was doing it, but it's like you don't know what you don't know. You know? And then when it's presented to you and you see it, it's like, oh, like children really do very well with two parents. You know? Like the opposites. So that's been something exciting to see. My son just started calling my husband dad, you know, which was like,
but
which says a lot because I'm like, it went from Mike to dad and he did it on his own. Like I never wanted to push for a while. He was like going back and forth with Mike dad. But I see that when Mike's children come over and they call him dad, like he wants to call him dad too. So that's been exciting and
that says a lot.
That does say a lot.
So it's
so you got this, girl. Don't worry.
Like what you were arguing about, what you chastising him about, like, I still like that.
That mama bear, it's never gonna go away.
But I do feel comfortable with allowing him to be, you know, like discipline him because it's again a trust. Like I know he would never do anything.
Right.
Too much. I don't know about changing documents yet. I don't know. But we can work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
Yeah, it takes a moment. It takes a minute because even my husband's daughter. I mean, I love her to death. Like, if anything if I'm hearing like, oh, she had a problem in school, I'm like, what? What happened? We going up to the school, like,
right.
Because even though I didn't birth her, she's still like she's that daughter that I didn't have, and when she's around. Like, I'm like, okay, let's do girly things. But then I also want to fall back because, she lives in another state. So when she's here, I feel like she wants to be with him. Yeah. So my husband gets upset because I kind of fall back. But I'm like, I know what it is to want to be with your father. I mean, my father was there all the time, but I live with my mother. He married. And then I have 2 sisters. So, when I would go over there, I would see the dynamic of a mother, father, and kids in a house. Right. And I'm like, oh, wow, like, this is kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I could see, how great this is and how, not that he excluded me for anything. But when I went over there, it was just me, my sisters, and my father, not my stepmother. Like, she fell back and let us rock out. It wasn't until, not that I gave her hell. I wasn't the nicest to her. But it wasn't until, like, I was, like, 30-something years old where me and her even really, really bonded. And she had, like, a death. Her mother died. And when I saw how it hurt her, I stepped up as the older sibling. And whatever you need me to do, I'm there. And the way that she thanked me, like, she was surprised that I took the initiative to do whatever. And from that point on, I guess we both let our guards down and just started loving each other.
Right.
So now I'm just like, not that she's my mother, but I call her my second mother. Right. And if anybody, like, the respect I give my mother is definitely what I give to her. So I could kind of like see both sides of the coin on how it's just work and time.
But I think being a step parent, like in that role, that's the toughest role to be in because you are not the parent,
right?
But you're expected to do all the shit that a parent does.
Exactly.
So you're gonna go to the parents teachers conference like you would go to your own parents teachers conference with your kid. And if you need something, I'm okay to do this, and it's okay when I'm stepping in the parent role in those aspects. Everything is good until I am disappointed.
Right.
And I'm saying, well, wait a minute, you're doing this wrong.
Exactly.
Now I'm the devil.
Right.
Or a bitch, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I have sepsis. So I always think that that's the hardest role to be in. And for me, like I have friends who have that step parent, but they're not the step parent. So it's easier for you to look at things when you are on that side, because I'm on both sides. I'm on the side where this is my kid, right? Not the father. And then I'm also on the side where I'm the step parent, and it's definitely it's that shit is hard. Okay, I need to apologize to LOVEPT again. I'm so sorry.
Not LOVEPT again.
Lord, LOVEPT, I'm sorry, but it really is the hardest job to be in.
Yeah, I think so.
It really is.
Because you don't know, and then if they have their mother, you don't want the mother to be like, you said this to my child, or you did this, or you let your wife say this, that, or do this, that, and the third. Then you like, but I need to, when she's in my key, I need to make sure that she's safe. And what I would do to my own child, I need to do to her, because I can't just let it just go crazy, because then if, I'm like, damned if I do and damned if I don't. Because if I say something, it's a problem. But if I don't say something, it's a problem. Right. So it's like you walking on eggshells. You don't know what to do. Right. You don't know what to do. You don't know
where to go, what to say.
Sometimes the kids are in a situation where they want to like you.
Right. But their parent is like.
But then they feel like if they like you too much, it's disrespectful to that other parent.
They have that allegiance to that.
Yes.
Right. Because that's how I am.
Oh, geez. Well, listen. Juan's father was totally not there, so there was no other parent to compare, him to. Like, and that's another thing. I always felt like Quan only had me for his whole life. I was the same way. went through the pregnancy by yourself. Like, I didn't have that. So for me, I'm all he knows. There is no other option. You know what I'm saying? Whereas his daughter does have another option. My sister's not here, right? So it's not like I can just be like, oh, go. Well, this is when he was younger. Now was staying with my sister, and he can't go back there anymore because he's disinvited for life. But like before then, you know, she would only take him for a little bit of time, a few weeks in the summer, whatever. But it was just us. And even when we all moved together, it was, which I did not think at the time we were doing the wrong thing. But I think now, we forced them into that situation, you know, because it was more so about what we want. Like, listen, we love each other. Listen, living together is going to save money. This is going to be good. We're going to be that. Like, what's the problem? Everybody figure it out. Right. You know, and that was me. He was more so like, oh, let's talk to the kids. Let's see how they feel. And I'm like,
they got us together. Right. Exactly.
Get over it.
Exactly.
That, you know?
Right. We're the adults here.
Right.
Right.
I am submissive. I heard that. But, you know, that was the whole dynamic or whatever. You know, so we did force them into that situation. They didn't ask to be in it. And I think if I could do it differently, I would, because I think that it would have changed the outcome on both ends, meaning the kids, on how they feel about step-parents, because they're cool. Sometimes, listen, when they both, like, didn't live with us anymore, like, they went to college or whatever, they're back now, though. they're all back, both of them. And so it was more so like, they had a 48-hour rule when they came home, because it was so crazy. Like, you had you love him. You treat him better than you treat me. You did. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm harder on him than I am on you. Or whatever. You know, so it's like that whole back and forth or whatever. And it was so much drama for me when it came to them, for both of us, with them being together in the same household, that when they left, I was like, oh my God.
You felt like,
This is what life is like. Because it literally was us and our two small children. And now there's really no conflict. You know, I don't have to worry. I know that what he's telling Ryan is right. If he's going to tell Peyton something, it's right, and vice versa. But they're back again. And so
the craziness is
crazy shit is back.
It's back.
Right? And even when they came to visit, it was like a 48-hour rule. Like, he put this in play. He was like, listen, they got 48 hours and then they got to go back home. Wherever home is for them, they got to go back. Right. Because when they came, it's like for that first 2 days, it's like, oh my God, everything's cool. We're all laughing, we're joking and stuff like that. And then the bullshit comes back. Because whatever it is that they have gone through, we've honestly never really dealt with how they felt. And me saying this now, I'm realizing like, shit, we never really, really dealt with how they felt with the situation. So whatever they're holding on to, they're still holding on to it. And the shit comes out every now and then, you know? So it's just...
I wanted to make a point of that, and it's funny because Lisa and Ashanti don't have this. And of course, it wasn't the case, you know, with me, but in the experience of my sister-in-law, my nephew. And I think it's also different when you get married and other children are there. So I think for my nephew, you know, it was always just him and my sister-in-law. And then when, you know, she got married, she had 2 other children by her husband. And sometimes I think, and my nephew has said that there are times when he feels like the outcast. Because not just because of the whole stepfather issue, but because now there are these other 2 children, which like the same thing with you guys. So it's almost like you, Dre, and the 2 kids, Ryan and Peyton, are a family. And then there's Danielle, and then there's Quan. And as much as you want to try and make everybody feel like a family unit, like you said, I think you said you don't think about the kids and how they feel. So it's different than Danielle getting to know you and developing a relationship with you, and then Quan developing a relationship with Dre. There's these other 2 children that are a part of both of you. And they've been lucky to be able to have both of you as a parent. So I think that dynamic is also different and a little tough. Also, because it's some resentment, like, you know, kind of. And I mean, and again, I'm only speaking from the angle of, like I said, my nephew. And, you know, these are conversations that I've had with him. And I know that there was, you know, initially at some point, some kind of, you know, strife. But I guess, like you said, when it's just a blended family. But I think that there's times when he kind of feels like the outcast. He's the oldest. And, there's these other 2 children. And they have mom and dad in the household.
Right.
So I think that that's definitely a tough dynamic. And like you said, I don't think that there's ever a time that it's too late to find out how they feel. And, that's a whole nother stress added on that you might not want to deal with. But, they're adults now. And so the way they voice their opinions and they express their feelings may be different than when they were 9 and 10 and, however old they were when you guys got together. Because I think the dynamic is, completely different. And then I also think that I know that with Jordan, there were times when if I saw Ron disciplining her, and that's his child, but I jumped to her defense because, I think it's always hard when you see the other parent discipline. And that's regardless of whether or not it's, your biological child or not. Because sometimes I'll be like, hold on, relax, wait a minute, But then when I'm getting at her, he's feeling the same way. Right. So I think nobody wants to see the other parent, especially the discipline thing is just a tough place to be in. Because as far as mothers, we're nurturing. So those are cubs. Like, wait a minute. And I don't care if you are the daddy or if you are the pappy. Hold on. I'm going to, this
that's
is
my baby. Right. It's my baby.
We just feel that way. And whether it's right or not, I think we feel that way even when it's, like I said, our own children. So, but that may be a conversation that you still may want to have. Now that they back and all too.
Right.
I'm just saying.
And I wouldn't shy away from bringing in a professional to have.
Right, exactly. Because maybe a professional.
To just mediate and make sure that everybody is being heard. Because sometimes you can be passionate too. You don't know what you hold on to. Or guilt, of what you hold on to. So
that counseling is in one of your little questions also.
Well, no, but we're going to talk about that because I did.
You seen the questions?
No,
I
I'm just saying, I'm hoping that it's in there. You brought up about bringing in a professional, and you're referring to this specific situation, but I'm just referring to in general.
Right.
Bringing in a counselor, somebody from the outside, like, because as Black people, we don't really tend to feel that we need
we go to
counseling.
church,
We don't need no help.
We go to church.
Right. We got this. Give it to God.
But here's the thing. So before we got married, we did bring in professionals. So I had my son because I knew he was angry because his father wasn't there, and it's and so he was holding on to a lot. He still holds on to a lot because of that, and so I did take him to take him to therapy. We did it together, him and I, and then him not by himself. No, just myself and Quan to try to figure out what's going on or whatever. And then even Danielle, she went to therapy or whatever. But here's what I noticed: when we're going to therapy, right? We meet up and we going, and they all, hey, everything's fine or whatever. And I know for Quan, me seeing it, he would literally go from, oh, we all joking or whatever on the train, and then when we get into the office, now he's looking like he's depressed. And I'm like, well, what the hell is going on?
Coming up.
You was just laughing and joking.
Yeah. It's coming to the surface.
To the surface, exactly.
You think so? Because I thought it was bullshit.
Now, I'm going to tell you about the first time I ever went to therapy. Before I could even sit down and say hello, it was like, right? Because it's like a moment where you can really just let go.
And you have to deal with it.
You don't even realize that you've been wanting to let go
for so long.
For so long. No words, nothing. Just complete tears, like an extreme release. Mm-hmm. Right. And as wives and as women, I think it's good for us to just go on our own sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes,
because
absolutely.
a lot of the energy in the household, I would say that it comes from where the woman is, we set the tone. Yeah. Almost, we set the tone. So the whole sex thing, if we could take it back to the sex.
Yeah, because I forgot about something. So yes, please bring it back.
Right. So the whole sex thing. So while I was in therapy, if I could just share with you, I think this is a safe space.
This is a safe place, judge-free zone.
So I was in therapy because, you've been hearing a lot about it. And I was like, man, maybe I need to talk to somebody. Maybe I got some things, that I want to discuss on one-on-one. Because I do like the group things, but the one-on-one person. And the sex thing came up. I feel like, oh my God, I can't do it enough for him to not have an attitude, that's why I always ask people, what is your number? Right. Yo, I'm tired.
Hello.
I'm tired. So what I realized, and this is just my revelation, everybody's going to be different. Everybody got their own shit going on. But I think that a lot of it just comes back to your self-care, right? And how you find moments to make sure that you feel sexy and feel energized and just being very vocal about the help that you need. Like, I'm tired because I gotta cook and do homework. If I'm cooking, maybe you could do homework.
Right.
You know, so that we can make it happen an hour early. So I can go, I can take a shower, I can put on my lotion, I can feel good. I can have my moment to get into myself.
Right.
So I can feel sexy.
Right.
When I feel sexy, then I could be sexy
to you. You know you
for
young married. You know you newly married because you gonna get it how you take it. I ain't taking no shower.
No.
But I'm talking about like 18 years in.
Right.
You know, you in your little year. That's nice. Let me take a shower. Listen, if my husband didn't care, listen, anytime it was like, listen, come on, right here. Listen, it's Christmas dinner. Like, we at the table. Like, we can listen, like, what's
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, that's nice for you.
I'll take it. But it's
Give me 6 years.
I'm just saying it's like whatever it takes for you to get yourself into that zone.
Right.
And sometimes all it takes is for the guy your man, your husband, you know, because it's not always about, you know, having a husband, your partner. Yeah. The person that you're rocking with. You know, y'all building a life together. To share the responsibility, to share all the tasks that just seem so draining day in and day out. So that's what I learned in therapy. I wanted to share with you guys. So ask for help. These men want to be needed.
Right.
Well, we gotta ask for help. A lot of times it doesn't happen. We taking on. Never mind, forget it. I'll do it. Never mind, forget it. I'll do it. I'm gonna do it. I'll take care of it. I got it.
With attitude.
With attitude.
Yeah, right.
And
so
that's
you
me.
Can't be,
100.
You can't blame them because guess what? Nobody's gonna offer for the most part.
Right.
Nobody's gonna offer to clean the bathroom. Nobody's gonna offer to sit down.
But see, that's what I think that they should.
So
that's why I get the attitude because I'm like, I'm gonna just do it because, and I'm saying, oh, I'm tired. I need help.
But are you saying that you need help?
Yes, I'll be like, well, not so much I'm saying I need help, but if you see I'm struggling,
that's the thing. That's wrong with men. They don't know. Right.
Yeah.
You got to tell them.
Right.
And then when you do it, I know when I do it, I'll be like, I'm just going to go and take out the garbage. Now I'm mad.
Right.
I'm mad.
Angry.
Because I did it. Stinking ass garbage sit right the hell there.
Right.
But then I can't let.
And that's the thing.
That's the thing. I can't do it.
Right.
And,
That's the thing.
or not even so much as help. I also have a hard time. Like if I tell you one time I need something, I don't think that I should have to ask you 3,000 times. I feel like if I said this, that, and the third, then it should be done. Because in the same breath, if you ask me to do something, I'm gonna do it.
Right. You do everything right away?
Right.
First time?
Well, for the most part, yes. Like, I mean, maybe not all the time, but I can say, like, especially if it's something like I know you need, then I'm gonna get on it. If it's something trivial, then whenever I do it. But if it's something that I know you need and it's detrimental to you, and if I said to you from the beginning in the door, listen, I have a hard time asking for help. So if I say to you, blase blah, that means I'm exhausted and I'm just gonna say it. If you don't do it, then don't look for me to ask you again.
Right.
Because that's just me. That's how we was raised, you know, a single mother. She was a captain of correction. This is what you did. You don't do it. All right, I'm gonna do it, and fuck you. Like I'm gonna make it happen because I have to make it happen because this is me. And you know, I got married late. I got married at what 40 or 40, whatever it was. So to be such an independent person for so long, to change and now have to, you know, say to you help because he always just say to me, you don't never ask me. And I'm like, but you see it, why I gotta ask? Like, it's obvious.
Question.
But you got it.
Question.
That's how they feel.
Can I ask a question? All right.
Sure.
So my question, what do you guys feel about, like, having sex when you guys are in an argument?
Oh my goodness.
You know?
That was my next.
Not me.
I'm sorry.
Like, I locked it all the way down. Get away from me and don't touch me.
Do you do
But
that?
as a wife, do you, like...
How do you do that? If I don't like you right now,
If I don't like you, I don't want to be bothered. Don't
How
touch
do
me.
you do that?
Leave me alone.
No? Okay.
I don't.
Feel that you
can
should.
you do that?
I don't feel like I should, but I feel like...
So if he's mad at you, he's still gonna ask for it?
Yeah, he's still gonna ask
Even
for
if
it.
he's mad.
Even if he's upset with you?
He's gonna still ask for it
Here's
even if
the
he's
thing.
mad?
Like, there's arguments where, you know, I'm mad at you and I'm not talking to you. But, like, if you said something and I'm annoyed, right? Like, I don't know if men just can just, like, block all of that out. Like,
They can.
as if it never happened, and it's like we're married, so we should have sex, and we can get back to the argument because this is life. And it's like, well, do you not go through? Is it just me?
Well, first of all, like my husband is very petty, and so if he's upset about something, he's upset, and it's like
don't touch him.
Even I have never even tried, because if he's pissed off, I'm sure he's pissed me off. Now I'm upset too, because what you upset about?
So what if he has tried? Like, has he tried when you're upset about something?
I think, man, I must have been drunk. Maybe a few times when I was drunk.
drunk.
If we like argued, and it was like a drunk argument. Oh, matter of fact, he did. Oh my God! So the kids went away. This for 2 weeks, right? And so to my sisters or whatever. And that first week, oh my goodness, that was the whole sex thing. Like it was getting crazy in the Goss household. And so I was like, you got to be kidding me. And so we tried to go out, right? And I had some like Hennessy sangria.
Okay.
And I heard, you shouldn't be drinking. When people drink Hennessy, they get a little emotional. And I was like, well, that don't happen to me. I don't really drink Hennessy like that anyway.
Hello.
And so I'm like, well, but I'm drinking still Hennessy sangria, whatever. And I didn't really remember, like, my limit on it is probably only 2. I think I had like 4. That argument, we were talking. That talk went into a full-blown argument. So bad that I had like walked in the house and I was slamming doors and I kicked my shoes off. I was being real childish after I thought about it.
It's the Hennessy.
Right, it was the Hennessy.
Right.
That shit had me. And so I remember just keep trying to talk or whatever, and I was just like, whatever. I was fuming. And so he was like, I fell asleep, and I remember him like,
was it the
coming
Pope?
to me? No, well,
oh, okay.
No, he came up or whatever, and I remember him like,
no, the Pope
Caressing you.
oh, the Pope?
Yeah, you just feel
right.
No, well, he was trying to rub up whatever. He was like, I love you. I was like, I got my period. He was so... I don't like this.
Right. This is so pissed.
So then later on, like then we were friends again or whatever, and he was like, yo, that was some bullshit you did. Because I just wasted that damn apology. I should have not said nothing. I should have wasted it.
Kept it in his pocket, right.
So I do remember him doing that once, but for the most part, when we get angry, like we're great. When everything is good, we are amazing. And he's the I don't want to be around anybody but him. But when it gets bad, because I think we are so like strong opinionated or whatever, it gets really bad because I'm trying to be heard. You're not hearing me. I'm not hearing you, but I think I am hearing you. I'm telling you, I hear what you're saying. But maybe I really don't because I'm just trying to get my point across.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So no, I do not have sex when I'm angry. I
don't either. I can't.
I don't. So really quick, we have a special guest.
Welcome. It's okay.
It's okay. So we have Mrs. Sunshine Smith-Williams. She wrote this amazing book, The 10 Commandments of a Boss Chick. And I was catching up on it, and I was reading up on it, and I was like, damn, this lady, this reminds me of me. I think this is who I am. Because she was really talking about like certain things about being a boss chick. And then it was one part that resonated with me, and it was thou shalt be, hold on, it's chapter 7. I got my little bookmarks. Thou shalt allow teamwork to make the dream work. Oh. And that was so good because for me, my husband and I, we worked together. Like, and we never set out to be like this like power couple or like, we never even set out to work together because we met when we were very young. And it wasn't until maybe later on in life, like we started doing extra things. It was like, all right, this job thing is cool, but we need to do more. And so he, became my support system. He's my vice president for my nonprofit organization, Don't Forget Me. And so he's fosters everything. Like, he is that person. If I'm frustrated or angry or whatever, he's that person, and vice versa. He's able to vent to me about things that he may not like about his business, or ask me, like, well, what do you think? And we feed off of each other, so we really support each other in anything that we do. Like, even with this, I said to him, that was that day when I had the Hennessy sangria. Right. I was talking about the podcast, and I was like, I just want to do this because I told you. So we were talking about sex and that being a huge issue when it came to marriage and how important that is.
Right.
And so we were arguing about it. And for me, when I go through stuff, I do research. So I'll find books. So I gotta figure out how to fix it, And I said to him, I think after having conversations with you, with some of my other friends or whatever, I'm just like, yo, what is it? And them giving me this advice, I'm like, well, shit, I think that I need to be able to be that person for other women. I think other women need to hear what I'm hearing because I'm not the only one going
Right,
through
we're not
it,
the only one.
And so when we were talking about it or whatever, he's the one that's like, oh, then let's do it. And I just said it. I didn't have it in the form, I didn't have a date. I didn't even see it. I was just like, I said, okay, this is what I want to do. And he was like, oh, you doing it this? What are you going to call it? We doing it and so he was all in, 1,000%. And so that chapter really resonated with me. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let you. Because I was talking a little bit.
Well, what was, what resonated with you? Because I know the ladies haven't read that. That's Thou Shalt Allow Teamwork to Make the Dream Work. So that's more so about you and your partner working together, right? And like you said, with anger, I'm not, listen, when my bag is not right, when money's not right, when the household, I can't, listen, my pussy don't get wet. I can't do it. I'm not interested. But the problem is we will reject our lover and they will become offended. Yeah, gotta find balance. Listen, shit is not right for me. I'm feeling some kind of way. And then you'll realize, okay, wait a minute. So now I need to give her love. Because when he gives me love, then I give him respect. See how that works?
Oh, I need to read that.
Right.
That's actually not in the book. That's just something
okay.
Listen, I've been married for 10 years and I'm finding out, what's the problem or what are we bumping heads with? And it's like women like to talk. So when men reject us when we're talking, you're telling us you don't love us because we like to talk with it. Men will say, you talk too much. And we'll say, well, all you want to do is fuck.
Right.
So it's like, you want to fuck and I want to talk. Listen to me.
And we fuck. Right.
It's
Exactly.
simple.
Exactly.
It's simple. We can make this.
Exactly.
So listen to me. Talk. The next thing you know, the hand is on the thigh and you are fucking.
Right.
So it's just like, it's 1, 2, 3, but you have to learn how to love your partner. Everyone likes to be loved differently. So I might like nice gifts. I might like spontaneity. I might learn to love your partner the way they want to be loved. And when you find that out, it won't really clash. So like you said, you don't want to, because I came in on the tail end of the conversation, you're not into doing anything when things are not right. Maybe you can make a smile on your face and, kind of get you away from that a little bit. It might not work all the time, but again, learn to love you the way you want to be, bringing that idea. Listen, your money not right, yo, get on your shit. What you doing? You want to do this podcast? Let's go. Bet you that pussy got wet then. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Yes, baby. You're helping me.
Yes.
My shit gets wet when my man is telling me I got a fucking phenomenal idea to make some more money for this power shit we got. We don't hustle for our first name. We hustle for our last name. That's generational wealth. Right? So that's what gets me right. So when it comes to that sex situation where there's a disconnect and you're angry or something's not right, come together and think of 7 things that you can talk about that actually bring that connection back. Write them all down. He don't know I write them down. Where you at, baby? He's over there. He don't know I write them down. I write them shits down we need to talk about this business. Let me hit him in the head with this and let me ask him about 4 questions. He don't even know. He knows now my secret.
Right.
But then he knows he knows now, but and then I'm getting, because I get all those best answers from him during his most sexual frustration. And I can't remember that word, but it's I forgot what it is. I want to ask him so bad, but it's men release this hormone when they have sex and they become firecrackers. That's when you fucking start Yo, I need to know about this. I need to know about this. What you think about that? I forgot what it's called though. Learn how to what?
After you talking about like after the
Is it no, sexual transmutation? It transfers. Yeah, it does. And if you got a thinker, that's the time. It transmits.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
So you have to learn how to. You have to learn how to do that. So listen, even when it's bad, it's good because you get something out of it when you know how to channel it and work it.
Right.
Wow. I think I needed that.
Yeah, you got to make a good thing out of a bad thing.
Yeah.
Now, babe. We're not gonna be sitting up here. Hello, 10. I've been married for 10. I got a lot. A lot of wisdom. And wisdom, if you're healed properly, becomes wisdom. Healed improperly, it becomes bitterness. So be very careful about that. Make sure you're healing right properly. Because no one is perfect in a marriage, ladies. We're not gonna pretend like this shit is
Right.
right. We're not gonna do that. But when it's not perfect, you have to make sure that that's a person that you're worth challenging, helping. And we always look, like my husband said the other day, he said, people always look for another partner. Try to find a better way to bring out the best in that partner you're with.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, we forgive our girlfriends and they be grimy sometimes.
Yes.
How you not gonna forgive the partner that gave you his last name, his rib, his crib, his kid, his cake? Come on, what we doing? You know?
But has it always been like that? Because I feel like, hey, he look like he got some
studio
forgiving
audience.
again.
Right. Jeez.
But has it always been like that? Because I notice, especially with Black women, it's always like the struggle before you can get to like this phenomenal love where we have been through everything and we climbing this mountain, and it's like
It's still a struggle though. Every day your marriage is a struggle. That's the thing. There is no rainbow. You have to continue. Your marriage is an everyday process. I got grandmother and grandfather that was not sleeping in the same damn bed, but sleeping in the same damn house. Because sometimes, and we had this conversation, I told my husband, you go through 3 different stages. Women go through I get married for love, the first stage. Then it's, okay, fuck this, I need a companion for the money. Then after that, it's companionship. I told him, I'm at the companionship stage. I want you to be off that cell phone. I want you to pay attention to me now. I'll be 40 in 2 weeks. I need attention from my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I want you to pay attention. I don't want the Instagram likes. I don't want none of that. I want you. But I had told him, I said, I went through 3 different stages in my own marriage. And I'm grateful to say I went through 3 different stages in one marriage. Some of us got to go through 3 different stages in 3 different marriages.
Right.
And more.
Right.
So I wouldn't regret, doing it again. But as far as struggle, it's not about the struggle. See, people look for soulmates, but you got to find your own soul first. So how can I sit there and I judge somebody else when my shit wasn't right?
Right.
So I'm going to say, you got to be right. Your shit got to be good. Your credit got to be A1. Everything got to be right. No, just because 40% might have been good for me, his 60 might have been good for him, and the 40% might have been wrong on the other end. I can't judge. Now, if I came with 100%, then I could say, the struggling is too much for me. No. We're talking about 2 kids that came from inner city, New York City Housing Authority, South Jamaica, Queens, mothers who was making it work with no fathers present. There was no man trying to teach him how to be a man. Some of that shit had to be learned through growing through me, hurting me, and learning how to love a woman correctly. Not everybody can take that. You understand what I'm saying? So listen, there's a lot of shit that was built on your marriage. So when you say struggle, name one marriage that didn't have struggle, and I don't want to hear that about that marriage. The shit is fake.
So how do you get through it then? Because we kind of went around the room.
Okay.
And 20 years,
5.
5 years, 6 years,
Okay.
1
Are you
year.
still in?
Yes.
Everyone's in. Okay, so
Yes.
okay, the queen is looking. She's locked in.
Yeah, 23 years.
I want to talk to her. That's OG right there. I'm like, shit, I'm at 12. I'm trying to be where you at. Right.
I ain't going no further. My husband he died after 18 years.
Okay.
So,
okay.
but
Sorry to hear that.
it's
Right.
just still like you said. I agree with what you said. It's an ongoing process. There's no
Right.
end of the rainbow. There's no end of the tunnel. Like it's just
Right.
like being a parent. It's just a continual learning
Correct.
experience.
Right. It
so
is.
yeah, continuous.
It's continuous. But what was you saying, Queen? You asked, was it a...
Friendships, like who do you talk to? Because For me,
That's a good question.
I could talk to my husband, but there's certain things like I need to
Right.
talk to someone.
That's
Right.
why we need to build that sisterhood. So that,
Right.
and it has to be with women like ourselves now, because then I can't talk to the girl that's been engaged 17 times. You're not helping me.
Right.
I can't. I
Right.
mean, you tell me to go
Right.
home and put my chest out, and this nigga gonna have me out in the house, out in the hallway.
Right.
I can't listen to you.
Right.
I can't listen to you. I need to know about tell me what you did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like someone that had that 20 years in, because obviously they passed me for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? So as far as friendships, I don't really, you know what? I can't even talk, and then you can't talk to your mothers.
No,
Right.
They don't forgive like you do.
They don't forget.
Right.
and they
Or your
looking at-
friends.
Right.
Right, because then, and it's sad. That's why I'd rather not have conversations about my marriage to friends. I'd rather have like a sisterhood. So with the sisterhood, I don't even look at friendship. I look at we're all coming together for a common goal. And the common goal is to help build each other while going through hardships with our mates.
Right.
Okay.
I don't want to talk
specific.
about a check with you, bitch. I don't want to talk about where we going on vacation. I need us to come together every Sunday after we cook and clean for that Sunday meal. Let's talk about what did we do? What can we do? What did you do this week that made your marriage more exciting? Because this week it was a little dead for me.
Right.
And when you start not having fun in your marriage, that person gonna look for fun somewhere else.
On either side.
Either side.
Right. Right. Oh, jeez. It's my studio audience again, guys. Right.
That's drink wine. Give me some more. Right.
Just a little, It's all right. You know what? It's okay. Just get it out. It's all right. Oh, we have a studio audience. You got something to say? Please, where's the mic? Please enunciate.
We gotta.
Hit seven.
Wait, let's hear the comment. What you responding to?
Yeah, when you marry somebody, well, I can speak from a man's perspective. Women grow up looking for marriage. They grow up told they want to get married. Men, no. From a kid, we have this backwards way of raising our boys where, like, you might come up to your little nephew, how many girlfriends you got? Little stupid things like that. They're already putting in their mind to be a womanizer. So we're not raised to value women the way we should when it's our most valuable resource, our women. That's why in our culture, the woman is the most, the black woman is the most disrespected woman on this planet in our music and everywhere in our culture. And that's part of the indoctrination that they try to put into it. But we have to pull away from that. And when a man asks a woman to marry him, that means, they found something special because that's not what we look for. So that means it took us out of our box to say, wow, I can't live without this person. So when you find that, you always, if you find somebody not happy in their marriage, you find somebody not happy in themselves. So
I
you
agree
really
with
can't
that.
look forward outside and a side person or something like that because ultimately that's your other half. That person completes you. So that means there's something missing in your life. So you got to look inside yourself and try to find the answers because you can bring out the best in her and vice versa.
Wow. Right.
Sure.
Right. Yes.
Definitely.
One thing that I would like, here I am. And I'll be transparent. I'm 8 years into my marriage as of August. My husband and I have been together for 20 years. We're physically separated, but we're actively dating. And I had to be honest with myself. I was just, getting married was the goal. I didn't think about being a wife. I wanted to be married because that's something I didn't see. And like you said, the 3 stages, I'm at the 3 stages of companionship with myself. And I'm allowing him to find himself because that's real love. Society teaches us to divorce from that. If you really love someone, when you really love someone and you see the value in that person, you allow them to grow. Because he allowed me to grow. And I mean, there was a lot of stuff in between that took place. And we were taught how to look outside of our marriage for comfort. You know, like not have fun. Because like, no, we're just married. Like, I don't have fun. I used to go to bed with, my husband used to say it all the time. I used to go to bed with big bloomers. And he was like, what are you doing? what are you doing? Like those like, why are you coming to bed with those big balloons? I'm like, I'm comfortable. But then I want to be attractive to my husband, you know? And even though he was saying it, but that was a big deal for him. And when you love someone, you do what you have to do to please them. And it's just like, this was amazing, Simone. Kudos to you.
Thank you,
All
darling.
of you ladies' input. I love having a male perspective because a lot of times we hear a lot of chatter from women, but it's good to have a real man's perspective, a real man's man. So God bless you too, sister.
Thank you, I appreciate you.
And I don't know what else I was going to say. I'm just packing the mic.
Oh my goodness. So one of the questions that we did talk about, but I'm very curious to know, and Lisa really wants to know because she's been asking this question quite a bit. What is your number? Like, how many times should you have sex a week? What is a respectable number to have sex? Like, how many times a week should you be having sex to be in a healthy marriage?
I think 4 or 5.
You 4 times a week?
No. 4
out of 7?
No, 4. Out of 4 or 5 is supposed to be the number. Yes.
Out of a 7 days.
Listen. 4. What? Well,
okay.
They all clapping.
Well, wait a minute. All right, so wait. Okay, wait.
Right.
Lisa might procedures.
Right.
Okay, wait.
No, that's an average. That's an average.
Our low number. I'm right now.
Oh,
You taking vitamins?
Okay, wait.
no. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hit a dry spatch before where I was like, after the baby was born, I had postpartum pressure. I didn't know. So I didn't know what was going on with my body. Okay, so that. And then, again, I told you guys I'll be 40 in a couple of weeks. That shit kicks off.
It does?
Whoa.
Oh, I got
I'm glad you said that.
Oh, my goodness.
No, it does.
I'm excited for this.
I'm really 27 in my
I
head.
can't wait for this 40.
No, but it's between 37. It starts at 37. And for some people, 37. And it gets, when you get there, boy, you be just wanting it all the fucking time.
Really?
Yes. Google that shit. Yes.
Oh my
Yes. Look, she knows. She ain't saying that.
I'm like, it wasn't me.
Right.
My husband left here still wanting it, and I was 45 when he died. So
Right.
like,
You was,
I'm just,
you was.
I wasn't.
No.
But now,
See,
But
now.
I'm over 50.
But
So,
see, it might have started different for you. Well, for me, it just
Yeah, I think everybody is different.
Everybody-
Yeah, I guess.
I
'Cause
really do.
I'm 47. And I'll be like,
in your early 40s, you wasn't.
but see,
like
the
a
thing
rabbit.
is, well, I'm gonna say this because he always be like, I want you to go back to when we first met, and this is like 10. It'll be 10 years.
Right.
Like you was always hot and
The
ready.
hoe that you
Right.
were.
And I'm now he like, you like, oh, come on. I'm like, all right, okay, I want to.
Right.
In my head, I want to.
Right.
But my body just like,
You gotta recreate and have fun. You gotta do role play. You gotta do fun things. You gotta, listen, my son was conceived on the roof of a car in the middle of Cook. You gotta, on the people beeping the horn, beep, 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 we fucking and still we don't care. We do. My son is 11 now, but you have to. And when I lost myself, I said, wait a minute, but you was fucking on the roof of a car. You better get it together. Like you was This is what you was. You was making sure it was. So we do.
You better bring her back.
I was praying, God, please bring that little nasty bitch back.
right.
Where did she go?
Right.
I went to loving me a little bit more, and I had to come once I became a little bit more content with it came with me. I was disconnecting from loving myself, and a lot of people don't realize when you don't love yourself, you can't love another human being.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
So it's like, okay, wait a minute, the sex is not the way it used to be. So wait a minute, something's wrong with you loving you. So let's have this conversation. What's up with you? Why are you like that? And it's called remember, look, I told you, couple, communicate, openness, understanding. Peacemaking, loyalty, esteem. Esteem is very important.
Right, and that's another thing. Because I think I know some of my own issues, right? And so I've tried to explain that to him, like, listen, I don't like this about myself or whatever the case may be. And I felt like he was not hearing me.
Right, okay.
I remember because he just wasn't having sex. So maybe you said you think they released something and then they hear.
Right.
So
After
I
that,
didn't. And I didn't know that. So I would like say these things, but he would turn it around.
Right.
Like, no, it's me.
Right.
And I'm like, what?
Right.
Did you just hear what I said?
Gotta listen too
it's
now.
Me.
Gotta
I'm
listen.
telling you. And it was more so You know, it's me. It gotta be. I don't think so. I don't think that. And I'm like, no, it's
Right.
I'm
It's me.
I'm going
It's
through
something.
It's an issue, and they
Right.
need to listen.
Listen.
Right.
Gotta
And
listen.
so he didn't listen. So now I gotta do what I gotta do.
You gotta catch up. You gotta catch up.
So listen, now I just gotta do what I gotta do.
Right.
Right. And you know, I'll figure it out. But I must say, since I told you we had a little tiff, right? And so now, you know, I've been doing what I gotta do.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And he's been a much nicer person. Listen, little things where he was arguing about like, oh, why you leaving this on the bed?
Yeah,
Like, I'm like, really?
Right.
You don't see your corner over there?
Right.
And you talking about my bra on the door?
Right.
But
They all got
now,
that corner, girl.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
God, that
Yeah.
corner.
That
But anyway, I hate that goddamn corner, okay? I just want to burn it, but I'm not going to talk about the corner. But I must say that after I'm like, okay, no, I and all jokes aside, I always say like, oh, it's going to take, but for me, I had to, one of my good friends, one of my closest friends said to me, listen, you have to have sex with your husband. Like,
Right.
it is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
this is what you signed up for. This is your husband.
Right.
You got to do it.
Right.
And I had to, and what she also said was you have to make that time.
Right.
So you need to put them damn kids on the schedule because,
Right.
you know, I'm the person that you call my house
Yes.
at 11 o'clock and the
Yes.
two kids, the little ones,
Right.
are up,
Right.
buck wild, running around.
Right.
And I'm like, sit down, go
Right.
to bed. So it was like, no, I had to
No, it is adjusting.
make that time, like, okay, in my head. And yes, sometimes I know we talked about like not making it seem like a job.
Right.
And I don't want to look at it as a job, but I have to keep in the forefront of my head, just like, oh, I got to make this happen and I got to make this number and I got to do all of this in business.
Right.
I have to keep that.
Yeah.
I got to make that time for my husband in the
Yes.
forefront of my mind. And since I've been doing that,
Much better.
much better. Look at him. Doesn't he look so? Oh, I got 5 more minutes.
Right.
Okay. But we were a little long. Well, anyway, he's much happier now.
Yeah, relax, just swag. You know. He's on tight a little bit before he's right. You're doing something good, Queen. Go ahead, keep doing it.
So I want to thank everybody here.
Yes.
Everybody here. Everybody that is here. I personally handpicked to be here because you guys have either gone through something that I have seen and it's worked. You guys have given me direction, giving me advice. Even if when you don't even realize you've given me advice, you have. I've learned from you and I love you all. So I am so, so happy. Oh, that's the manager's coming out. The business partner's coming out. So, no, I really do want to thank everybody here. I really, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you all and I do love you all. Now, this book, I'm going to need everybody to get it. I don't know if you have some copies with you. Let them know where they can find this book because it really, really is a good book.
Okay.
Thank you. You can find it at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble. You can walk into Barnes & Noble. It's there.
Nice.
If not, you can walk into a library. It's in the self-help section or psychology. Either one, but it's in there. Yep. Get that book.
Don't worry.
And what's the name?
10 Commandments of a Boss Chick.
By Sunshine Smith Williams. Okay.
Nice.
Boom.
Yes.
There it goes.
And if you have not already followed, make sure you follow our Instagram page. It is What They Don't Tell You podcast. If you, first of all, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes.
Everybody, somebody that you know can benefit from it because the page is funny. It has like real spiritual things and real deep things in it. And I have a little funny things as well because you got to laugh. So everybody to do that. And if you have any questions, if you have a topic that you want to know about or something that you're going through or maybe your girlfriend's going through or your homeboy, whatever it is, let us know. Inbox us. We will definitely have it on the show. Every time we have a show, I'm going to have some amazing women just like I had today to spill the tea on what they don't tell you. Thank you for tuning in. See you later.
Bye.
Tell me, baby, are you done talking?